So this is about looking at crow pose from a different perspective. There's a thing that I really love about yoga poses is that there's always a new way to teach them, a new way to look at them. And I really, really enjoy breaking them down into little tiny bite-sized chunks that when you learn them all the way and all together at the same time, these very fancy poses illuminate themselves and become much less complex and much less unapproachable. So we're going to do crow pose today, obviously. It's actually not one of my favorite arm balances, but it is one that's really fundamental and very, very difficult to learn to do well. So Janice and John are here with me. We're going to just come into it a few different ways. So you'll start on your back, hugging your knees into your chest. I just did a little mini demo of what I wanted to do, and I'm now breathing hard. So I know what this is like. Okay, so right now with your knees hugged in, you're using your arms to hug your knees into your chest primarily. So I want you to let go of the work of your arms, and you'll feel your legs kind of bounce up away from you. Right? Now re-hug them in. And once they're hugged in, take the attention to the fronts of your thighs that are touching your belly and the crease of your hips. There's some muscles in there. Start to work there. And see if you can use those muscles so that now, when you slacken your arms again, your knees stay pinned in. Good. Okay, now re-hug them, but grab the backs of your thighs rather than the front, or rather than your shins. And now from here, just slacken the backs of your legs, and you'll kind of feel your legs go dead. Nothing's really happening. Straighten your knees up to the ceiling a little bit, just a few inches. Right? Spread your toes. Point your ankle joint so that you're essentially like you would be on tiptoes. Now think about the backs of your legs. Engage your hamstrings and your calves and pull your heels down towards your sit bones. Okay. Feel that work. Now add the work of the fronts of your thighs and glue your thighs to your belly, your calves to your hamstrings. Pull your heels down. Good. Okay, so that's the lower body part. Right? Now separate your knees just a little wider than your shoulders. Keep your big toes touching and your ankles still in that Barbie foot shape. Put your fingers behind your head. Okay, take a breath in, and then exhale, lift your shoulders, head, and chest up a few inches. Okay, flex your hip joint again. Pull the thighs in, pull your heels down towards your sit bones. Draw your belly in so you're rounding your lower back. Keep your chest wide. Reach your arms up at a 45-degree angle away from you, like you were doing crow pose on the corner of the roof. Squeeze your knees and your arms together. Push your arms back into your knees so your chest is wide. Go back to your legs, thighs working, hamstrings working, heels down. There you are, crow on your back. Hug your knees in. And you rock yourself up and over and come into downward facing dog. Okay. Once you're in downward facing dog, you just shorten your down dog a few inches. And then without re-lengthening it, inhale, glide forward into plank until your shoulders are over your wrists. And then move your shoulders a few inches beyond. Okay? And then if it still feels really long, walk your toes in just a little closer as well. Okay? Pick your right foot up, breathe in, and as you exhale, bring your right knee to the back of your right arm to the outside edge. And then lower your right knee and shin all the way to the floor so that your inner knee and your outer right wrist are touching and your right foot is towards the center line of your mat. Okay? Press your back leg straight just so it's an anchor. Draw your belly in. Squeeze your arms together. Pull the top inch of your chest wide. Now, think about leaving your foot on the floor. Start to work belly in and right thigh. Use the right front of the thigh. Draw the knee up, 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 up. Climb it as high as it can get, and then pinch the knee and the arm together. Now use the back of the leg. Draw the heel up, 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 up. Squeeze it in. And then inhale up and back to three-legged dog. And then exhale, set your right leg all the way down. Okay. If you've lengthened out somehow, shorten back up. Second side, inhale, come on forward. Okay. Shoulders go beyond the wrists, but stay away from your ears. Pick your left foot up, breathe in, exhale, left knee, left outer arm, and then set the leg all the way down, foot to the center line. It's just a half crow pose. Back leg straight, belly in. Okay. Push the floor away from you so your back is going to round some, but keep your chest a little bit wide. Okay, push your foot down, start to work from the hip. Pull the knee up, up, up. Hip flexor works, then hamstring, calf. Put the heel up, foot to the center line, belly rounded in towards your spine. And then exhale, up and back, three-legged dog. Good. And then put your foot down. lower your knees down and come into child's pose. Big toes together, knees just a little wider than the sides of your rib cage, and then arms wherever for a few breaths. Okay, so crow pose oftentimes taught with bent elbows, but it's eventually a straight arm pose. Oftentimes taught with the knees on the back of the arm, but they really go to the outside of your arms. So this approach we're going to take today, you have all the pieces, and then try to work on it with really straight arms. It might not happen, but it's the clearest, simplest way to get there. So just go slowly. It's worth a try. If you don't love it, go back to the other way. But I like this way. It's kept me interested in the pose. So roll yourself all the way up. You'll widen your knees in child's pose until it's easy to get your hands between your knees, shoulder distance apart. You'll kind of have them far back, so your fingers might be in line with your kneecaps. Okay. And then make sure they're set up just like they would be in plank. Draw your belly in. Draw it in so much your back rounds. Widen just the top inch of your chest, shoulders away from your ears. Okay, now shift your shoulders forward so they're beyond your wrists. Push your toes down. Start to draw your knees up. Climb them up. High, high, high. Walk your toes in a little closer. Climb them up high, 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 high. Shift forward, elbows straight. Then belly in. Squeeze your knees, maybe one foot at a time, maybe both at the same time. Work the backs of your legs to draw your heels up. And there you go, straight arm crow pose. If it doesn't happen, a little slowly at a time, work on it. Lower yourself down, come into child's pose. Okay, take a little break. And do it one more time. So there's this temptation to bend your elbows, to take the knees to the back of your arms, to avoid the work, the hard work. But you know what it is now. If it's not strong today, it will be eventually. So one more time, come on up, widen your knees, hands on the floor. Okay. So round your back, but keep the top part of your chest wide and your shoulders back. Now shift the weight forward like you would going into chaturanga. Push your feet down, climb the knees up a little. Move your toes in a little closer, big toes together. Climb them higher, try to get them the outer shoulder. Squeeze the knees and arms together evenly. Keep shifting forward. Once your feet get a little light, use the backs of your legs to draw the heels up. Push the floor away from you. Think about turning your whole spine into an open umbrella shape. Good, and then set your feet back down. Lower your knees down, rest in child's pose again. So that's one of the poses that I like to teach in a bunch of different ways all the time. Sometimes they make sense to different people at different times. It's one of the ways I stay really interested as a teacher and how I pay attention in the moment to what is happening, doing yoga as I'm teaching it. So there you go, different way to come into crow pose.